So in this video, I'm going to show you how God led me to two things: James and the timeline 1771-7. It's taken me a few weeks, I'll admit, because more and more info keeps coming. So I decided to just stop, and if I have to add more parts to this video, then I will. I'm not going to put everything I've gotten into this video because it'd probably be a couple hours long, so I don't want to do that. So the first thing I'm going to show you is a really short video clip of The Last Boy Scout from 1991. I don't usually watch movies like that, but it was on when I went and sat in the living room, and there's two things really that I noticed, right off the bat. And this is the very end of the movie. Now it sounds kind of funny because where I found it online, it was already like that. But you'll hear the words, something similar to, "I know Satan called Jimmy, he's out there." Now, I know that his friend he's talking to, his name is Jimmy in the movie. However, the way he puts it all together, I remember sitting there going, what, did he just call Satan Jimmy? That was my first reaction. And then it has been a roller coaster ride ever since. So I'm just going to play that for you, and a couple times so you can hear it.
An old Satan calls Jimmy, he's out there, and he's just getting stronger. So what do we do about that? Be prepared, son. That's my motto. Be prepared. An old Satan calls Jimmy, he's out there, and he's just getting stronger. So what do we do about that? Be prepared, son. That's my motto. Be prepared. An old Satan calls Jimmy, he's out there, and he's just getting stronger. So what do we do about that? Be prepared, son. That's my motto. Be prepared.
Okay, like I said, these guys slip in, they put it right in front of your face and mock us and what have you. So I know that they snuck that in really close together, okay, with the Satan Jimmy thing. And when he said, "Be prepared, son, be prepared," he's talking about Jesus. Okay? And I'm going to prove this out throughout this video. I'm going to prove out the Jimmy, which is, another way to call someone who's called James, and it ties in with this new timeline. So, buckle your seatbelts, and I'll start with some of the pictures that God led me to. Okay, so like I said, now I'm going to go through some pictures with you to show you, the 1771 that kept coming, and later on the James stuff. So I was seeing James in 1771 everywhere, okay? And I remember the shooting in France around Christmas time. I remember looking at the slides. I'm like, St. James, and something kept telling me, remember that St. James. And also, it happens to have 17 slides. That's not just by chance, okay? So, yeah, so I thought, there's the James again. By this time, like, I'd seen it so many times. And a 17. Now, in this one, there's the P. Just let me get my notes here. There's the P, and the P is the 16th letter of the alphabet. So for me, this is, you know, there's 16, you go up one, so 17. It's like they're saying they're starting the 1700 cycle, starting with the 5. Okay. I've gone through so much in the last few months. I know many of their little tricks, so you may not see it, but try and trust me. So here it says autre, which is other in French, and that is something else. And I think it says markings. You could tell that's not part of the sign. They wrote that on. They edited this photo. So there's probably, on top of telling you about this starting of 500 cycle, they're telling you that there's also 5 different markings in this. And this one here is one. You could tell it's written right on, and I think it says 500, but I'm not 100% sure. If you tilt the picture sideways, let me just see here. One seven seven one. That's, to me, that's what that says. The 1771. And of course, there's probably a slew of other things, but once I saw a few and kind of figured out what they were trying to tell each other through these photos, I just moved on. So, oh yes, and back to the last Boy Scout movie. I noticed this right away. If you remember, in one of my other videos, I told you I was led to 1551, and here it is, 1551 and the -5. Now I haven't, you know, tried to figure out the -5 thing or anything. I don't really care at this current moment. I was working on the 17 at this point, but so that came up, the 1551-5, which caught my eye right away. Now I just felt led to watch some upcoming movie trailers, and I don't know why. I just felt like I had to, so I went through some movies that were coming out this year, and I took a screenshot of this. This is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Okay, and right away I saw Babylon Blood, so you know right away they're speaking to each other right here. So you have Babylon Blood, and I looked and it says Marlon James. I'm like, are you kidding me? James again. So I kept thinking, okay, well, I gotta check out Marlon James. So keep that aside. And this movie, it says only on the big screen Christmas. Did you notice they didn't say this Christmas? Because if you remember from my 1551 video, they're planning something big for Christmas 2019, and I still think they are. Here's a screenshot from that. It says, if you look carefully, it says Cry Soul AS 119. That this whole thing is loaded with code, okay? But right away I saw that Cry Soul. And then this phone number is 160-4514. So I thought, I'm gonna check that out. Oh yes, and this name means begin either hurt or attract happiness. What does that tell you? So the phone number was 160, which means unexpected, sudden, a bolt. The 4514. That's the phone number. Unexpected, sudden, a bolt. They're talking about Lucifer right there. And in this movie, they talk about, I mean, they didn't use the word CERN, but, you know, everything was implied. And how it's, you know, it's going to explode, and how all the parallel universes or whatever is going to, it is so in our face. I can't understand how people can't see it. I hope that, go look at the trailer for this. It's loaded with meaning. Like here, they're sitting in the little shop, and it says Diesel Cuts. Well, and he's from the future, so that's what's coming. Exactly what's coming. Now, this picture is really important because, and I'll show you with my spreadsheet later, but it's, you see this 115, and you see it at another point in the trailer as well. And so if you go 1, there's 7 lines on the pink part, 7 lines on the brown part, 1. So there's your 1771. Okay. If you take 511, I'm going to show you that with my spreadsheet a little bit later. Okay. Just remember that 511. So, oh yeah, so on the taxi, where is it? There. Babylon Blood, Marlon James. So I googled Marlon James, which is what they wanted each other to do. And it's this guy. He hasn't posted since June. And his last post was It Begins. I'll show you what that is in a second. And look at these numbers. Okay? So with these numbers, they strategically put this, okay, a brief history of 7 killings. Remember that S. But 7, okay? So they deliberately put that right here in the picture, okay, so that it would be added into here. This is how they work, okay, or right here. So with this, you get 1771-7, okay? So there's your 1771-7. Then you have 1124. I'll show you what that is. 18, it could either be 9, which is 9 for judgment, which I think it is. And 2025, if you add up the numbers, it's 9. Okay? So this 1124. I'll get back to that in a sec. 1124, it's to build. And I'm like, to build? The rebellious and evil are rebuilding wall complete. Yep, right there. Building the rebellious. Okay, so coming back. So when I was looking, I'm like, okay, well, all right. You know, Jesus, there's James again. I'm on it. Then I looked and I felt, spell it backwards. I'm like, well, Ram. Okay. But then I thought, NOL. What's NOL? So I checked. No, whatever. Its meaning is Christmas. So you have Christmas Ram, which is what I was saying. You know, that this Christmas, or Christmas Eve, that passed in 2018, I made a video that, you know, the 1260 day section has started around Christmas time. Plus they plan on doing something huge Christmas Eve of 2019. So this makes sense. I mean, the Christmas Ram, please. So on his post it says, you know, it begins, and he shows a picture of his apparent book. the red wolf. So there's the wolf, you have the leopard, you have this thing here with, where is it? Oh, his fingers and nails coming down. You have the snake, okay? And on here it says, author of A Brief History of Seven Killing. Now, that should have an S, of 7 killings. It's deliberately not there. He would be throwing a fit if there was a typo on his book, okay? Because it's supposed to have an S. A Brief History of 7 Killing. So, that means something. Okay, so through all this, you know, it led me to James again and these 1771. And so I continued on with the movies, and I came to, this is the Pokemon coming out in 2019. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, look at all these codes here. I wonder what they are. Now there's a few things I do want to note about that ticket, okay? So you have like the chain link, you have it upside down and reversed, right? We all know that that's what they do. It says 1 adult because we know that children won't be here, they'll be raptured. Leaving town, and over here there's 13 hours to validate the ticket. Anyway, so when I looked at these codes here, RC877Q9, I did the numbers and it's all there. Like again, 1771-7 with the 9, and 9 is judgment. Excuse me. Now you'll see in this video how I believe that the first 1260 days started this past Christmas, and the next one, and that one goes till June 5th or 6th, 2022. And that just happens to be 666. June 6th, 2022 is 666. And if you add from then another 1260 days, which would be the second one, it's November 17th. So 2025. So there's your, you know, your 11 and your 7, and this is how they do it. It's all overlapping. It's like insane. So if you take these, do a little juggling. I added a 0 there because they add or subtract zeros whenever they want, and it comes out to 2025. And then when you take this here and do the numbers, now Strong's 2222 says life. I saw something the other day that kind of explained the 222, where it's life and death. It's the beginning and the end. So I didn't type that in there, but that's what I believe that the 2222 means. And you take the rest of the numbers and it comes to 11 and 17, which is November 17th, right here. So that's, they know, judgment. It's all, this is their big plan. November 17th, 2025. That's the end. Incidentally, 9 means judgment, but it also means completion. So I've seen. So yes, this 181 that stood out, I'm like, what does the 181 mean? And it means disturbance, upheaval, revolution, almost anarchy. First in the political, and then it's in the moral sphere. So, definition, instability. Yep, that's right here. Right at this number, which represents November 17th, 2025. Judgment, completion, instability. So again, and then on January 2nd, Elon Musk, there was an article he did, and he spoke of the mark of the beast on the forehead, Blade Runner, and heart stopping, and blah 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 blah. I'm like, oh, there's NOL again. So there's Christmas. Now is 5 and has all kinds of meanings, so you could take your pick, and Musk means medicine. Right, for the heart. But I found it interesting again. It was Christmas. And all the numbers in that article, the ones that I pulled out of the article, and this is another one, I gotta make another video on the 101. Because it's been coming up to me everywhere too. I'm about halfway done. But here's all the 1771s again, all through that article. I'm telling you, they all talk in code. Articles, TV, it's crazy. Same with this. Michelle means close to God. You take all the numbers from the article and the numbers here and everything, 1771. Like, it was everywhere for me, 1771. This is just a few of the examples. So, oh yes, 395. So you have your 1771 right here, right? And the 4, I'll show you that after, but the 395, I'm like, well, where does the 395 come in? 395, rising of the sun. Yeah, rising of the sun, close to God, or who is like God. That's the name Michelle means. Who is like God or close to God. All the numbers are there, all in code. I think that was the date. Yeah, the date. Empower, strengthen. It's crazy. Okay. So, all this is going on. I was getting James everywhere. I knew he wanted me to look into James. I knew he wanted me to look into 1771-7. So I've been working hard on all that. And my sister came by, and my old passport from when I was a kid was on the table. And we didn't grow up together. She used to live in England when we were kids. And I said, oh, look at this old passport. So we were laughing, kind of looking at the picture. I said, I think the only stamp in there would have been when I went to England. You know, so I said, oh, I'm going to go find it. So I looked in the book, and there it was. 17717. I almost fell on the floor. It's the only stamp in my passport for when I was a kid. And, well, teeny bopper. And it was 1771-7. So I knew it was huge important. He really, really wanted me to look into this. Also, if you look at the date, 9 plus 7, which July is the 7th month, is 17 with the 1, yeah. And then the 9 and the 8 make 17, so you just flip it, 1771. And there was a 4, which is, you know, what I gathered from up here. So I thought, well, I don't know what the 4 means, but anyway. 4 means completeness. So there you have it. So I almost fell on the floor when I saw this. The only stamp in my passport, my old passport from when I was a kid, and the numbers 17717 were right there. I'm like, I'm on it. I'm working on it. And just for fun, I googled Gatwick, and they used as an example a goat farm. I just threw that in because I thought it was funny. So, the number 7 is one of the most significant numbers in the Bible because it is the number of spiritual perfection. It is the number which is stamped on every work of God, and that's what I took from here. You know, this is the part of the video that I'm going to really need you to trust me on. Please listen, watch the rest of the video, and then absorb what I'm telling you, because I know it to be true. And when I first discovered what I'm about to show you, this was many years ago, I was like, no way. I mean, I always knew there was something wrong with this world. Something wasn't right. And then I found Ed online, and I started, watching some of his videos, and I'll show you who I mean. And I didn't just watch one and dismiss. I watched several. I listened to what he had to say. I watched many of his pictures that he created, and I'm like, crap, like this is true. This was way before my journey with Jesus and with God. It was way before that I knew about, end times and anything. I mean, I was always a believer, but that was about it. And I didn't know anything about Antichrist, Obama. I didn't know anything about any of that. And when I found Ed, now I don't believe in everything because he's not a believer in God. But God has clearly given him eyes to see. So many years ago, this is what I discovered about Obama. And I'm going to show it and prove it out to you as best as I can without giving you any DNA. So, his name is Ed Chiarini. And he discovered many years ago that all the self-proclaimed elites, all the people high up, especially in the government for him, that they're all actors, they all play a role. Now, I don't think Ed believes or knows about anything about Obama's role in end times, but he came out with this many years ago saying who Obama really was. And it always stuck with me. So when I was doing this, James, God put James into my heart, 1771, and this popped back into my head, because I thought, why is James so important when it comes to now, with end times? And, I'm not putting it together, God. Like, I need some guidance. And boom, right in my head, this came back to when Ed discovered who Obama really was. Now, I'm also going to show you a few of my ideas, but you should really check out his website is wellaware1, the number 1.com. And he, like I said, he can prove all these people they're not really who they say they are. So, when, like I said, when God put in my heart James, and the 1771, this popped in my head, and I'm like, okay, so I remember it was B.J. Armstrong, the basketball player. So I did a little digging around, and oh yeah, so here was, I think this is, I can't remember where I got this photo from, but this is just an example, okay? This was when some African American in the States was apparently shot. Like, all the news is fake, all these shootings. And, you know, so they had all these. This is apparently the guy's aunt, and they're blaming cops and all this, you know, creating hate and division. I mean, if people can't see this is a chunkier freaking Oprah, then you will never have eyes to see. I mean, this is Oprah pretending to be his cousin or something, and this is Oprah's mom pretending to be his aunt. Like, if you can't see that, I don't know what to say. Like, everything is fake. And if you've seen any of my videos, you know I say it all the time. Fake. Everything is a lie. And if there's some kind of truth, they insert themselves into it for either money, GoFundMe, to cause hatred, whatever, you know. So anyway, so this is one. I think it doesn't look like one of Ed's work because he usually does the red around it, but this is Oprah Winfrey. I'm sorry, it is, and that's her mother. Matthew Perry, this is who I think he is. You see that scar above his eye right there? You know what part he's playing right now? Joe Scarborough. And Scarborough just happens to be in Ontario, and he's Canadian. See that scar right there? They didn't cover it very well. That's him. He's playing a part. Nothing is real. And if you can't see this, then you will never have eyes to see. If you can't see that Morgan Freeman is this old... Who is that? Jimi Hendrix? I can't remember. I've never been into all the music stuff, but that musician that apparently died. Here's his white wife, and here is his wife. I mean, it's him. And maybe you guys can help me with this one, because I remember many years ago when I found Ed, there was this baseball player, black baseball player from like way back in the day. I think he was a catcher. And I remember seeing a picture of him and going, oh my, that's Danny Glover. And they used Glover for his new role. Like, he used to play baseball. I'm 99.9% sure. Maybe you guys can, if any of you are baseball people out there. Because he went from playing baseball, I think he was a catcher, to playing the role of Danny Glover, or played both at the same time, whatever. But the name fits as well. Anyway, Stephen King. Okay, Stephen King. He also plays a role as Mark Lyon. I saw this years ago, and I'm like, Lion King. Hello. Like, that's so him. Anyway. So back to Obama. So, this I want you to take note of as well. The O, his signature with the slash through it. Okay? So, I remember Ed saying B.J. Armstrong. So, Ed made this. Okay? Him playing basketball. So, I remember thinking, okay, well, what's the J for? You know, because it's Benjamin Roy. What's the J? So I looked into it. Anyway, so Benjamin, the name means right-hand son. Think Obama now. Right-hand son, because that's what that's what he claims, right? The right-hand son of Lucifer. Armstrong. So he was born Benjamin James Armstrong. So there's the James again. And as soon as I found this, I'm like, oh, that's why God had me remember Ed's old thing about Obama. Benjamin James Armstrong. There's the James again. And Obama, who's the Antichrist. Like it. Roy, okay, means king. Armstrong, son of a strong man. Like it all fits. It all of it fits. James means supplants, undermines the heel. So a supplanter takes the place of someone or something that was there first. Okay? And here it says, if, I think that's usurping, thrones is your thing, then maybe you have a future as a supplanter. So usurp, take a position of power or importance, illegally or by force. To seize, to take over, take possession. I mean, it all goes together, all of it. And then when I saw this in the news the other day, how they were saying, oh, you know, Obama should become the coach, basketball coach. I started laughing so hard. I'm like, of course he would. Of course they would. Right? Because he was a freaking basketball player. He played the role of B.J. Armstrong. Benjamin James, which is where God was leading me, Armstrong. And all the name meanings and everything else, like it all fits. So God was not finished with the James thing. He brought to my attention the King James Bible. And I remember sitting there going, if I start crapping on people's Bibles, what, they're gonna tear me apart. So I'm like, please show me if this is really the route that you want me to take. Please, I need 100% proof that this is where you want me to go. And he showed me 100% that he wanted me to go to the King James Bible. I was looking through YouTube and I saw this video and I thought, oh, so I clicked on it and I watched it. And it introduced me to the fact that, which I don't know if any of you are aware or not, but I believe through CERN, they have changed our Bible. And they started with the King James Bible. And King James, of course, you know, you could say, they can say whatever they want about why it's called that or whatever. But it all goes together with the James, where God's been leading me. And I'm going to show you some examples. Okay? So this might take me a bit. So try and be patient, please. I don't remember much about the Bible myself. There are certain things that I remember, but I was never a reader until the last little while, a couple years. So, but there's one that I always remember, and that's the lion and the lamb. And they've changed it to the wolf. Yep. And when I couldn't believe it. I mean, listen to my papers. I went through my Bible that was printed. This one was printed in, let me see. Of course I can't find it now. 1954. And some people in this video were saying, you know, some of their Bibles that are like older than than they are, which is like mine, but that are really, really old, the words have changed in the Bible. And that's why he wanted me to bring up the King James. I mean, the name James cannot be trusted. And although they haven't hit every part of the Bible, they have for several years now have started changing it. So we're not even going to have the Bible 100% being God's word. So there was this, and I'm just going to go to eSword and show you a few, okay? So Job 21:24. It used to say, his body is well fed and his bones are moistened with marrow. Look what it says. His breasts are full of milk. Like, that doesn't even make sense unless you think of their agenda. I mean, they're pushing the gay agenda, the transgender agenda. I mean, it's insane, some of these things. I'll just show you a few, okay? If you can just bear with me. Maybe you've already know all this or whatever, but I mean, I didn't. Luke 20:27. I haven't checked online for this one yet. Let's see. Hold on a sec. Oh no, Luke 19. Sorry. Luke 19:27. But those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. Jesus would never say for anyone to kill anybody. Ever. He would never say that. I mean, if you look in Matthew chapter 6, verse 9, the Our Father's changed. It says, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forget our debtors. Think about this. This was not like this before. Like, there's another one, Revelation. Let me just show you a few here. I mean, maybe you guys knew all this, but I mean, I certainly didn't. And I mean, here, the Son of Man, clothed in a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps. That's a bra. And with a golden girdle. They put him in a girdle. It used to be a gold sash. And now it says a girdle. I mean, they just made Jesus a transgender person. And you know, there's in Luke 18, '34. Hold on. Luke 18. Oh, this is weird. Sorry. Oh. Okay, and I tell you, in that night there shall be 2 men in one bed. And it used to be there was a man and a woman. And then here it says 2 women shall be grinding each other. Yeah, 2 women shall be grinding each other. Or together, sorry. That's being really sneaky. It used to say grinding grain together. 2 women shall be grinding together? I mean, there's so many. Like, you know, do some research on YouTube. I'm sure you'll be able to find all kinds. And then in this video that I was watching, you know, God had said, let me just find, oh yeah, and there's girdles. Now there's the word matrix. There's the word matrix in the Bible. There's, let me find my sheet. There's unicorn. There's all kinds of crazy words that were never in the Bible that are in the Bible now. Like, you can research that yourself. Look at, I mean, there it is. Matrix, bottles, bank, butler, unicorn, naughty, gay, gorgeous, stuff, couch, pisses. Oh yes, it says pisses. Suburbs, highways, tires, mufflers, ovens, ranges, pots, dwarfs, unicorns. I mean, it goes on. Those words were never in the Bible. They didn't call them bottles. It was skin. You know, they'd have their wine and their water in skin. Anyway, so now I know exactly why, you know, God wants me to tell whoever doesn't know any of this that his words have been changed. And like, if I can just find it here. You know, I can't find it offhand, but you know, he was telling one of them to, you know, seal the words kind of thing, that they weren't needed, you know, at the time or something like that. So I'm all flustered. And then at the end, Revelation 22, and he saith unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. That's right at the end of the Bible. Verse 12. Revelation 22, verse 12. Nope, verse 10. So God knew that they were gonna do this, and because he unsealed it, they were able to change it. You know, and that's a sign when they're doing this. For the time is at hand. It is now. You know, it's happening so quickly, and we really need to help people turn to God and turn to Jesus. And I mean, I'm trying. I try to tell my friends and family, and yeah, that's not working out. But hopefully someone watching this video will see will hopefully you learn something different in here. You know, the James, he led me right through, and there were other things too. I should have wrote them down, but you know, he really was had that name James on my heart right from the get-go, from that movie clip, and then taking me to movie trailers that are showing, you know, the word James, the name James, and the 1771, and with the James so far has ended here. And anyways, but the 1771, I want to show you something. I almost forgot, actually. Sorry. I want to do all this before hitting you with the Bible thing, but in one of my videos recently, I said that December 24th to the 25th, 24th was what I originally thought, that 1260 days were starting this past Christmas. And in between the two of the 1260 days is June 6, 2022, which is 666. And it ends November 17th, 2025. Which is where all those 7-Elevens come in, right? They are all over the news. It is everywhere. And I'm not going to bore you with the numbers like that, but this here, see this little paragraph here? This took me so long to figure out because I was trying to figure this out, and then more of the James thing was coming, and more of the 1770. Every time I turned around, it was 1771-7. And anyway, I'm sure there was going to be more, and I'll just make a part 2, like I said, because this is already running way longer than I wanted. But I figured this out, I think. I'm pretty sure. So the 1771-7 is, it all overlaps, okay? You have your 1700 days, and then your 71 weeks. Okay, so it goes backwards. So you have your 1700 days. Your 71 weeks is 297 days. Okay? I did it all in days. 7 months, which was the -7, is 210 days. 30-day months. So that's what they used to do back in the day. And if you recall, in my 1551 video, they had to add that 4 months. I don't know if you remember that or not, if you've seen that video, but they've had to add that 4 months. So there's 120 days. And I was looking at going, well, it still doesn't quite add up. There's like, 8-9 days difference. And then I remembered. On January 1st, Trump was quoted in this article. Like I said, they all communicate with each other through the media. And he said something about 8 days a week. 8 days a week. I thought, what a stupid thing to say. What's he talking about? Of course, I wrote it down. So 8 days a week. And that's where that comes in. He was making a correction on their timeline. So the 7 month, this was when the movie was released. Remember Marlon James said it begins? Well, and people were led to him by the movie, right? So the movie released on the 14th. of December. So here are your months. And incidentally, Game of Thrones, which is, they're just laughing at us. They are just throwing it right in our faces what's coming at us. And I have another video to do on that too. The Game of Thrones season starts, they said, in April, which would be the month number 3. On their ad, and I'll show you in a minute, they've got 3 lines going through the O. I'll show you. Keep that in mind. Okay. Obama's signature had that line through the O. Remember, I pointed that out. So those are the months, the 7 months that are being counted down. Okay. And I have a spreadsheet, but I'm not going to show you the whole thing because it's not quite complete and I don't want them to see it. So I just copy and pasted just a little portion of it for you. And now I just want to show you how so there was that countdown. Remember the 500 in the pictures? So this was a news article picture, whatever. And I told you, nothing is in a picture for no reason. Okay, so I'm going, there's the 500, 3137, 4, 11, 4, 10. I'm like, okay. And there must have been something in the story as well to lead me to this, but I'm like, December 20. It was on Christmas. Oh, it was a helicopter crash. Okay, so they were saying, Mexico was saying, oh, we're asking the U.S. to help us with the investigation to leave no doubts. This is how they communicate. So they're basically saying, okay, everybody, with all this shooting information and everything else on the 12th and 11th, and let's get everybody reset on this and on the same page here. So they did this, and this was on December 25th was when they had the article, I suppose. There's the numbers. There's your 500 and your 410, which is here. They did it backwards. 41. Now, if you remember this picture here from Spider-Man that's coming out, or no, came out at Christmas, before Christmas, and I showed you the 1771 and the 511. So I went, okay, 511. So if you take 511 from 1771, it leaves you 1260, which is what I said, that the 1260 day time started around Christmas. I think I said the 24th, so give or take 24th to 25th. So everything, there's a reason, there's a meaning and a reason for everything. They communicate this way. From what I'm seeing on the internet and everything, they know that I've figured out the 1771-7. They're freaking out, and not that I care, but they're freaking out. And I think that the day that I figured it out, there was this, oh, I should get it, I should have had it ready, sorry, but there was a clip of a reporter out and talking about that Jamie girl that was found. She was kidnapped or something and was found. Jamie, right? Jayme. But anyway, Jamie. They knew I'd discovered the Jamie thing as well. Or James, whatever. So they had that. And her last name. I got papers all over my table here, so I can't even find it. But her last name means fate of reality. They know I figured it out. I figured out the 17717 and the Jamie James thing. God is so good. Anyway, this is a lot longer than I wanted, and I'm really sorry that I don't make really cool and interesting and flashy videos, but I just want to give you the information the best that I can, because I'm not a techie person, but that God would wants me to pass on. Oh, there is one other thing that I want to make sure to tell you, and that's he has it on my heart to make a hard copy of things, so when the power and internet and everything is gone, if we're raptured, then we leave behind something. I have notes with the Bible verses and showing them how they've changed. I have, a binder of this and a binder of that, and I've been printing things off to prove to them and to tell them. So if he wants me left behind to spread the word, then I have all the information that I won't need the internet. So I'm going to pass that on to you. So if you are in a position that you can make, hard copies of things and notes on papers, and if you're lucky enough that you're raptured, then you've left behind something truthful that people will have. You can't just leave a note and say, read the Bible, because they've changed it. And who knows, over the next 3.5, 4 months, whatever, 7 years, it's probably not even going to be the same at all. And all of their lies are going to be, they're going to think, hey, well, this was printed in 1901, so it's got to be they're not going to know that it's been changed through CERN. I'm 99% sure that they've done it through CERN. So if you can make hard copies of things, I am, just get a little dootang or binder and write things, put notes, whatever, so that we can leave something behind that people can believe in. So anyway, I wanted to make sure to say that, because I've been working hard on that too. I know it doesn't look like I've been doing much lately because I haven't been making very many videos, but I work for God like 14 hours a day doing things, researching. He puts things on my heart, and I go digging, and I follow what he wants me to. And anyway, let me see if I've gotten everything here. Oh yeah, I want to show you this. Sorry. It's from the Game of Thrones trailer. You should go see that. And it's completely filled with what's coming. But a real quick clip in it, and I caught it, was the 1551. Remember my video? 1551. They have it right there. What else do I have here? Oh yes, there's the 3 lines right there. The 3rd month. I don't know if after 7 months, is that when something is going to pretend to happen to Trump and Obama's going to come in, and I don't know. I'm just showing you what I see. When things become clear, or if I think, if I've seen that I've made a mistake, I'll make a video and tell you. Oh, this was really nice, because I was praying, saying, okay, the 1771, I hope I have that right. What if it's 1717? So this was before I figured out all the days and everything. And he led me to 1717. And it's figuratively of God giving proof of his saving grace and thus manifesting himself. So I thought that was great. Of course, they would, reverse the numbers here to make it 71, right? Because that's what they do. Oh, and I was going to make a video on this someday too, but this is not Audi, Mercedes-Benz. I just want to show you how they quickly mock us and communicate with each other through these car commercials and stuff. Okay, so all this means something, but I just want to quickly show you, at 4 seconds in, they're saying, they're making sure that you see this, right? And all these numbers mean something. You got your 500 and your, those 4 months. And anyway, so here, and in the very next shot, they blotted it out. I didn't do that. Go look yourself. They're like, you can go from this to this. Oh yeah, that kind of thing. And then of course she looks in the rearview mirror and winks at us, right? Go watch that. It's Mercedes-Benz. And here, so stoked. They're very excited for what they're about to do to us. But what they don't realize is those of us who know, like, I don't care. For me, I worry about other people that don't have God and Jesus in their life, of course, but they mock us and everything, and it means nothing to me. In the end, I mean, just think about it. I'm sorry I'm chatty. Just think about it. These people have trusted all the lies of Satan, all the lies of the demonic spirits that are running the world for him. Do they really think for 1 minute that they're not going to be betrayed? Broken promises, right? Like, they're foolish. They are so foolish. Anyway, so I just wanted to show you that, boom, I didn't do that. They took it away. Oh yeah, and that was another code from the other day. That too. Well, yeah, I want to show you that. Just to show you, okay? There's always something, right? So the saying 300, I think the number's gone up now, but you see this? That's an M and a T and a 2. All the numbers in, they all add up, and you got to add them onto this, and it's in here everywhere. There's that picture. It's everywhere. Anyways, I'm sorry I got chatty there at the end. I've been wanting to make this video for a couple weeks now, but like I said, everything just kept coming and coming, and I wanted to wait until I knew for sure that he was leading me to the King James version of the Bible. And yeah, so Obama, BJ Armstrong, James there, James everywhere in 1771-7. That's the timeline that they're working on right now. So thanks for listening, and I hope you stayed with me to the end, because it's an important message. So have a look at Ed's website, wellaware1.com, and give him a chance. You may not see like the way he sees yet, right off the bat, but you're going to see. Maybe we could pray for him too, because he's not a believer of Christ. So, thanks for watching, and stay safe.